It's Jim Florentine here, Comedy Metal Midgets podcast on riotcast.com. Riotcast.com's got a good website if you guys want to check out some other podcasts on the Rich Voss and his wife Bonnie McFarlane, Robert Kelly. The Comedy Cellar does one on there. The Jersey Jerks. There's a bunch of cool ones on there. Bailey J. I can't remember the other ones, but, it's some good shit out there, man. Thanks for listening. Once again, I got some really good feedback on the Good Friend one that was last week. It did really well. Ton of downloads. Probably like my second biggest one since the Van Halen one I had the audio for when they did that little private show in New York. I think it was that and I think this one was bigger even than Rock of Ages, but for some reason it caught on. A lot of people can relate to it being a good friend. They're getting tortured. I did it with my buddy Chad Zumach and Joe Howard. And if you didn't hear it, go back and check it out because a lot of guys can relate to it and a lot of women can relate to it too, going, yeah, I was that person. I was that girl that did that to those guys. So it was very painful but therapeutic to get through it. Yeah, oh well, what are you going to do? Hey, you guys have been really suggesting some cool podcasts for me to do, different subjects and stuff. I'm going to get to, if I got enough material on it, like I said, but through butterflyradio.com, if you go to butterflyradio.com and download the app, it's free. You can leave me a message and about a good podcast there. We're going to have some contests coming up with Butterfly in the next few weeks. Will be pretty cool. But you do have to have an iPhone for Butterfly. But if you do have the iPhone, go to it, leave a message, leave some comments about the podcast or a good podcast suggestion. And also, you guys have been sending me email through my email, Jim Florentine, the number 13 at gmail.com. I appreciate it, man. It's been that really good feedback. And it definitely, some of the shit really hits home when you go, you know what, you should do a podcast on this. And I'm like, that's fucking perfect. I didn't even think about that. So check out butterflyradio.com. It's really cool. And I said we got some new shit coming up, some contests and stuff. We can win some stuff coming up in a couple weeks. Also Amazon. I know I feel like a broken record going through the same shit every week. But, you get new people downloading the podcast, so you got to update it. If you're going to shop through Amazon, go to my website, jimflorentine.com, click on the Amazon link there and shop from there, and I make a few pennies, help support the podcast. Or you could donate, too. jimflorentine.com, there's a donation button there. I got some good feedback I did Allison Rosen's podcast. She's Adam Carolla's sidekick on Adam's podcast, and she has her own one. I did that one last week. I posted. I also did Crab Feast, which is really cool. I did that. I got a lot of good feedback on that. So if you guys want to search out those, and I got an upcoming one with Jay Moore coming that he didn't post yet. I did like 2 weeks ago when I was out in L.A. So I'll keep you posted on that shit. You know it is. And one last thing before we get to this week's podcast. tweakedaudio.com. You need some new earbuds. Everybody that's got them so far said they like them, man. They're cheap. You can get them from $14.95 to $39.95. That's the most expensive ones. You get a third off if you use the promo code Midgets for Comedy Metal Midgets. And lifetime limited warranty and free shipping. Check them out if you need some new earbuds. They're really cool. I'm using them right now as I do the podcast. 7 styles, 7 different colors. Check out their website, tweakedaudio.com. Put in the promo code Midget. You get 33%. Midgets. And you get 33% off. What a fucking deal. All right. This week's podcast is going to be a very angry one. Most of them are anyway, but this one, especially, I have so much rage for this. I didn't even think about doing this until I had an encounter about 6 days ago when I said, that's the next podcast. And I don't know why, because I do hate the place, and I'm surprised I didn't think of it earlier, but we're going to do it on banks. What scumbags banks are. Okay? I've been with this one branch, Wells Fargo. I don't give a shit, say who it is. I've been with them for 14 years. They used to be First Union. Then they switched over to Wachovia, which is a fucking stupid name. And then they merged with Wells Fargo. So they've been Wells Fargo for the last 4 or 5 years. I've been with them since 1999 or 98. Loyal customer, put a bunch of money in there. I used to get CDs back in the day when the interest rate was like 5%. I throw a few grand, 5, 10 grand in there, collect some interest on it after a year, whatever. safe investments because the fucking rate was great. So I'm like, what the hell? Didn't trust the stock market back then. So I've gotten loans from them, 2 different loans. They've made, and I've kept a lot of money in just a savings account just sitting there because I was afraid of the stock market until I figured out what the hell it really was. And I just heard all these nightmares of these comedians getting like a $250,000 advance from like NBC to do a show, and they invested all in the stock market and they lost everything. So I was always petrified to do that. So I said, fuck it. I'm leaving it in my bank. I'll collect, 3%, 2.5%, 3% interest in my savings account. At least I'm not going to lose it. I had no money for a long time. So when I finally got a little, I'm like, fuck that. There's no way I'm losing. I remember when I was like 35, I was paying these bills off in change. And I was like, shit, something's got to fucking give here. And then I wound up booking a couple commercials for a lot of money, and then I started, and then shit just started taking off from there. But I remember going down to the local supermarket and putting it in that change bucket and paying my bills off and all the fucking change I had. So when I finally got some, I was very conservative. So I gave the banks a lot of business, a ton, just sitting there, in there, and they're making money off of it. Couple loans, like I said. So now cut to 5-6 days ago. My wife's got a check that she gives me that she has to give it to me, but they signed it to her. So she signs the check over to me and then I sign it back. $300, okay? So I told her, I said, I don't know, man. I guarantee you're going to have first of all, I don't even go in the banks anymore. I go to the drive-thru because they fucking bombard you. As soon as you walk in there, you got fucking 8 guys coming out of these offices. Sir, look, checking out the teller, checking out the computer screen of your account. Sir, I think I have a better account you could put that money in. Fuck you. Stop looking at my fucking financial statements, motherfucker. Yeah, really? What are you going to do? The interest rate in any savings or any money market is nothing is over 1%. How are you going to fucking help me? You're going to give me from 0.5% to 0.75% on like fucking $7,000? What does that come out to at the end of the year? Fucking $6? You know what? I don't want to fill out the paperwork. I don't have time for that. But they do that all the time. They circle around. Oh, you have a debit card? No, you don't. Maybe you should get one. Shut the fuck up. I don't need a debit card. I don't complicate my life. No reason for debit cards. Debit cards are the biggest fucking scam in the world if you really think about it. First of all, a debit card, you cannot spend more than $1,500 in a day on a debit card. So say you're on your honeymoon, say you're out fucking, you want to pay off your week of the hotel bill plus, all the room service, and you going out to dinner with your wife or your chick, and it's over like $1,500. Say the rooms were like $1,300, and then you want to go to a dinner and something else. If you hit $1,500, they will not let you charge over $1,500 in a day. So if you have fucking $100,000 in your bank account and you have a debit card, you cannot spend more than $1,500. Hey, that's my money, motherfucker. So you're telling me I can only spend $1,500? So right there is awful. Say you have a big emergency, you need to. Say your fucking engine blows up and you're driving across country and you're like, you know what? Let me pull in this gas station. It's fucking $2,200 for a new engine. Put it in. I'll wait a day. But you can't because you have a debit card and there's only a $1,500 limit. Who needs that? But of course they don't tell you that when you sign up for it. They don't tell you any of that. You eventually just find out like, oh yeah, well that's our policy. Also a debit card. You buy something online. With a credit card, if you get fucked, it's some kind of scam or they try to rip you off or they charge extra, your credit card, you call your credit card company up, they will go after that company. They will put that on hold. They will not take it off. You won't have to pay it on your credit card until they solve it. What happened? Whether you owe them the money or they tried to fuck you and you don't owe them the money, but the credit card goes to work for you. Any credit card will do that, which is a great feature on a credit card. You buy some shit off of Amazon or wherever, a furniture store, and you put it on your credit card and they fuck you, and you call your credit card company up, hey, man, I wasn't supposed to be charged this. Please look into it. Okay, no problem. And then they get back to you, and a lot of times they're on your side. They always take your side. I love that. Okay, with a debit card, they are not obligated to do that. You buy furniture on a debit card or anything, and they fuck you over, they are not obligated to go to that company and say, hey, man, what's the problem? They go, no, not with a debit card. So nobody knows that either. They don't tell you that either. Because you think, with credit cards, been doing that for years. All right, perfect. But no, they don't tell you that. And then my sister had that happen to her. She bought something on some furniture for a house, and they overcharged her by like $400. And she called the credit card. She's like, well, we're debit card, so we don't have to help you on that. And she goes, okay, technically you don't, but are you gonna? And she's like, no, sorry, we can't. That's not our policy. So fuck debit cards. And then third, if you get a hotel room, you have to put a deposit down in case you wreck the room, you smoke in there, or whatever. Everybody, whether you get, you have to put a deposit down in case there's some room charges or whatever. So they put like either $250 or $500, depending how long you're going to stay, on your credit card, and they hold it on your credit card until you check out, and they make sure there's no damage in the room, there's no smoke, no weather. With a debit card, you could use your debit card to do that, but they hold that money, they freeze that money for 7 to 10 business days. 7 to 10. So say you only have $700 in your bank account through your debit card, right? And you're like, all right, I'm going to Atlanta. I got $700 to spend. You check into the hotel. They freeze $500 for 7 to 10. Even after you check out, you still have another 3 to 4 more or 5 or whatever it is business days before they unfreeze that money. So that money is fucking gone for almost a week straight that you cannot use. Your money that you cannot use. But they don't tell you that either when you get a debit card. So what good is a debit card? For what reason? If you have a credit card, use your credit card. Every time you want to carry cash, use your credit card. Everything you truck and charge, all right, I'm going to charge. I'm like, what's the difference? Why would you have a debit card and a credit card? That's 2 statements you have to check out. That's 2 you got to make sure. That's 2 that's coming out of your bank. You don't need that. It's just more aggravation. It's more bills. It's more fucking drama. It's more shit. You have 1 credit card and you pay off as much as you can at the end of the month. That's what you do. The worst. No reason for a fucking debit card. None. They try to get me every time I go in the bank. You have a debit card? So I'm trying to cash a check. No. Well, you could use it for identification. I go, oh, yeah, really? Yeah? My license doesn't work anymore? Well, yeah, that works. Yeah, of course you could use your license. But, you can also use a debit card for identification. I go, oh, so when I go to the airport on Monday, I could just show a debit card when I'm getting on the plane? She's like, no. I go, because you just said it was for identification. I'm sorry. I must have misunderstood you. All right, well, at least when I go to get liquor at the liquor store and a guy decides to ID me, because he IDs everybody, I could just show my debit card. No, you can't, sir. That won't work. Oh, because you said identification. I'm sorry. Fuck, man. All right. Well, at least, say if I go to a club tonight and the bouncer decides to ID me, I can show my debit card. She's like, you're being difficult. I go, you're the one who fucking started this shit. Okay? The only time I ever take my license out of my wallet, the 3 different times at a fucking, at a bar, at a liquor store, or getting on a plane, and I can't use it any time. So basically, the debit card I can only use for in the bank at that moment. That's it. Other than that, it doesn't count for identification anywhere else. Do I have that right? Well, yeah, you do. It's just easier. So no, it's not easier. I got another card in my wallet that I don't need. I got enough fucking shit in my wallet. Now I got to put another card in there. For what? So every once in a while, every fucking twice a month when I go to cash a check, I can pull it out. Yeah, here's my debit card. One woman actually said to me, well, it's good to have, sir, just in case, maybe you forget your driver's license here, and then you walk away and forget it. So at least with the debit card, you don't have to take out your driver's license. I go, oh, well, eventually I would know. I think I could track that down. You know what I mean? I think, whether it's a day later and, I go to get my wallet, I'm putting it in my pocket. I'm like, shit, where's my license? And then I'm like, when's the last time I took it out? I barely ever take it out. Oh, it was in the bank. Well, let me go back to the bank and get it. Not that big of a deal. It really isn't that big of a deal. And if you had it in front of you before I even walked out the door, you're like, sir, here's your driver's license. You're forgetting it. No reason for a fucking debit card. ATMs, enough of them too. They stink. There's no reason for them. You get fucking fees everywhere you go. Just cheap people have ATM cards. People that don't want to carry a lot of cash because they think they're going to spend a lot if they have a lot on them. Well, fucking, you know what? That's not my problem. Okay? You have no discipline in your life that if you're going out with your friends and you carry $300 in cash and you're going to spend it. What, you have money on it, so you're just going to spend it all? What, are you going to walk by Victoria's Secret with your guy friends and just start buying underwear? And your guy friend's like, what are you doing, dude? You buying it for your wife? No, man, I got money. I got to buy shit. I can't help it. I got money on me. It's not going to happen. It's for fucking cheap people that just hope when they go out with their friends, everybody else is going to pay for their shit. Because they'll go, oh, I gotta hit an ATM. If there's an ATM here, they have to ask the waiter. No, there isn't. There's one down the street. Oh, shit. Dude, could you get me well, how much money do you bring out? There's 7 guys. How much? Well, I got like $25 in cash. Oh, yeah, that's good. 7 guys, $25 in cash. So we get a round of beers. How many is that going to, how many could $25 pay for? 4 with a tip? But you got 7 guys. So that's what you brought out tonight. Well, I just figured there'd be an ATM. Well, why don't you just take 200 out? You're out with 7 guys. I don't like to carry that much cash. Why? I don't know. You never know. I might get mugged. Really? You got Wrangler jeans on, a mullet haircut. Nobody's going to think you have any money. Nobody's going to look at you and go, that guy's got a lot of cash. He's got Wranglers on that I got at Walmart today for $9. He's got a mullet, so he must have a lot of cash on him. Nobody thinks you have, nobody's getting mugged. I'd much rather get mugged with cash, $170 in cash, than someone stealing my debit card and fucking take off with it and start charging shit all over the place. Oh, yeah, that's good. So they got my bank account. They got all that shit. They got siphoned shit out. They got all my information. Oh, yeah, fucking awesome. Yeah, sign me up. That's what I want. ATM are for cheap fucks. I know who you are. I'm in the comedy clubs every night. It's always that guy. Dude, the ATM's broke. He comes back. Then halfway through the night, because every ATM is a service charge unless you go to your bank. So then you got the asshole halfway through the night. Dude, can you go to my bank? They don't charge me a service charge. Now I got to go drive 8 miles out of the way to find a fucking Bank of America to save you a $3 service charge. I just drove drunk. I got to the club. Now I got to get back on the highway to save you $3. Our friendship's over. That's what I want to do. People, seriously, people at ATM, they're retarded. They're cheap. Okay, so if you're cheap, why would you have an ATM card where you're going to get hit with fees everywhere you go? Everywhere you go, unless it's your bank, they're going to charge you $2, $3, $4. If you're in a strip club, it's like $7. Every time you go to an ATM. For what? Instead, you couldn't just, before you left the house, just take out a few hundred. Instead, you go, no, I'm just going to go, because I'll just take out like 50. That's all I plan on spending tonight. Really, you have no discipline in your life. If that's the way you have to do it. That's the way you got to live your life. Let me just take 50. That's all I'm spending. You have no fucking willpower to just go, no. No, that's okay. I'm not going to, I don't need any more beers. I don't need to buy that. No, it's okay. No, all right. I'm good. Just have you don't want to carry cash, have your credit card. You go to the bar, you give it to the bartender. Hey, here's my credit card. We're going to get a bunch of rounds. The guy fucking holds it back there. At the end of the night, he adds it up. And you fucking, that's how you do it. It's simple. These fucking babies that don't want to carry cash rely on ATMs. So all the bank is making this money as you're out fucking because you're a cheap motherfucker. All these banks are making $3 here, $2 here, 7 at the strip club, another 3 at the 7-Eleven. Oh, yeah, great. You just gave the bank more money. You happy? So where was I? All right, so getting back to, I don't know how I went off on that tangent. Getting back to, my wife gives me the check. She signs it over to me. I go in my bank. I go, all right, it's going to be a battle. Because like I said, I just go through the drive-through so they don't bother me. Because every time you go in there, they fucking, they want to bring you into an office and sign you up for some other shit. I think your money would be better here. Shut the fuck up. No, it wouldn't. What do you know? I go in there, put the check down. I'm trying to cash it through my savings account. The woman's like, I don't know if I can cash this. I'm like, why? She says, well, it's signed over. Who is this? I'm like, it's my wife. She's like, well, is she on the count? I go, no. Oh, she goes, well, I can't cash this. I'm like, why? I go, I've done that before. People signed over checks to me, and then I put it in my account. No, we don't do that here. I go, what do you mean you don't do it here? I've done it. I've been with your bank for 14 years. I've done it at least 20 times over the years. Probably the last time I did it was like a year and a half ago. No, I don't think so, sir. You must be thinking of a different bank. I go, so you're telling me that I don't know what bank I had. So you tell me I have another bank that I forgot about, that I have money in? Because that's good to know, because I didn't know I had other money in another fucking bank. I got to go home and go through my drawer and find out what, then maybe I'm signed up with Bank America too, and I forgot all about it. I got fucking brain damage. Thank you. Sir, if your wife has an account here, is your wife on this account? I go, no, she's not. Well, if if you want to cash this, she's going to have to open an account here. I go, well, she's not going to do that. Well, why wouldn't she? Then you could cash. I go, why? I go, she's been at the same bank for 12 years. Why is she going to come over to here? I'm going to drag her over here so she can open an account so I can cash a check for $300. Does that make sense? Seriously, does that make sense? That I got to go, hey, come on down to my bank, fill out all his paperwork, give me your Social Security, let him run a security, let him run your Social Security so it affects your fucking, your credit score. It goes down because people are fucking, looking at your credit score and your numbers go down another 30 points. Yeah, that's what you want to do. Just so I could cash a $300 check. That makes a lot of sense. So I go, look, I've been here 14 years. You guys done it a bunch of times. She's like, well, then it's a new policy. She didn't even know. I go, so you don't even know when it started. She goes, well, maybe I could see if I could just deposit in your account. I said, you know what? Fine. Do that. I'll take that. If that's what I got to do, deposit it. Fine. 5 minutes later. Nope, sir, we can't even deposit this. Your wife's going to have to open an account here. I go, she's not going to open an account here. She's like, well, I can't do anything about it. I'm like, that's stupid. You got to see there's people online behind me that like fucking holy shit. I go, no, that's stupid. And then the manager comes over. Sir, we can't cash. We can't do this. I go, so you basically don't trust me. I go, I've been here for 14 years. You think that I have a $300 check for my wife that I'm trying to screw over my wife over $300? That's what it's all about. He goes, no, that's not it. I go, yeah, it is. Cause you don't trust me that I'm going to friggin' cash this check that I forged her signature and then signed it over to me. That's what it's about. What else could it be? You don't trust me. Do you really think I'm going to do that? Look how much money I have in my account. You really think I'm going to do that on a $300 check? You really, seriously? I've been here 14 years, never a problem with any of my accounts ever. But I'm going to do that. Sir, that's our policy. I go, all right, you know what? I'm done with you guys. I'm going to close out both. I had a business account and a savings account. I go, I'm going to close out both accounts. I can't deal with this. This is ridiculous. I go to a bank that doesn't do that. She goes, all the banks are like the same way. I go, yeah, there's fucking 5 banks within a 1 mile radius here. I'll find one that doesn't fucking that won't cash a check that's signed over. So I'm closing out both accounts. The guy goes, okay, fine. Didn't even try to stop me. Sends me over to the desk. The guy's like, you want to close out the accounts? I'm like, yep. Okay. 10 minutes later, I walked out of the fucking bank. Both bank accounts closed. Been there 14 years. Fuck you, Wells Fargo. Didn't even, not that I didn't want my ass kissed. But they didn't even go, hey, could we work this out? This must be a misunderstanding. Let's see what we could do. Nothing. All right, no problem. Took my money right out of there. Nice. Went to a little local branch that has like fucking 3 other banks in New Jersey, and I opened an account there. I'll give the business to them, not the fucking big bad fucking, monopoly bank, the big fucking, Wells Fargo and the Bank of Americas that basically bankrupt this country. I mean, you realize what the banks are basically what fucked this country over. That's why we're in shape today. Okay, 6-7 years ago, whatever, they started giving out loans to anybody. Homeless people would come in and get loans to buy a house. They didn't even care. A homeless guy would come in with a cup of change. They go, you want a house? He's like, well, I only have this change. Oh, okay, don't worry about it. Give me the change. Yeah, we'll put you in a house. Well, yeah. And then they're like, well, take it 2 months later anyway. So fuck him. He'll make a few payments. We'll make a bunch of money off him until they can't pay it anymore because we know he can't afford it. We checked out his accounts. He doesn't have any money or anybody. And we'll take the house back in a year. Meanwhile, we get 12 months of free payments that went into our fucking bank. And then we take the house back and we resell it. So that's what these motherfuckers did. Giving loans out to anybody that walked in there within an hour, you were out of there. No problem. 450,000. You only make 40 grand a year teaching. Yeah, here's 450,000 for a house that you can't even afford with 17 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms. No problem. We're going to have it in a year. Take the money. And that's why the whole housing market collapsed. And then, of course, fucking Bush and Obama, Obama did it too, bailed out all these banks when they lost all this money. Right? Because they fucked up. They totally did it. It was nothing to do with anybody else. Just say no. You go up, you can't get a loan. Nope, you're not qualified. Nope, they didn't give a shit. Fucking ruined the whole market, the recession, everything. And now we're at the point where they won't give anybody loans. In the last 2 years, they won't give any out loans. So now we're fucked. People have money again. They want to fucking get a house. They want to get a loan. But the banks are like, nope, we can't give you a loan. Nope, you're not qualified. We need more paperwork. We need more. What happened in 2009? You made $10,000 less than 2010. So your income's not steady. That's the fucking feedback you get. That's what my friend got. Because he made $10,000 less 4 years ago. So now so everybody's just renting. Nobody can buy houses because the banks are fucking keeping everybody down. And that's why the economy's still in the shitter. That's why everybody's renting. But meanwhile, the stock market's fucking flourishing because everybody's putting their money, because they have extra money. They want to buy a house. The banks won't give them the fucking cash, won't give them a loan. So they put the money in the stock market. So instead, the bank goes, oh, we got to make money, so let's just tack on fees everywhere. Anything, we're going to put a fucking fee on. Any move you make in the bank, we're putting a fee on. My brother owns these apartment complexes, right? There's like 110 units. Most of them paying cash at the end of the month. So he has to deposit like, I don't know, over 25 grand a month in cash because he gets most of them. A few checks, but mostly cash. Wells Fargo, his bank, charges him any big deposit over 20 grand. Wells Fargo charges like a 0.001% to deposit cash. Are you fucking kidding me? I could see if it was withdrawing cash. I could understand that, even though that's a scumbag move too, because you're taking money out of the bank and they can't use that to make money off of you. I get it. It's wrong. But to put money in cash, they're charging him. So it cost him, he said, like an average of $50 a month just to put cash in the bank. He's been with Wells Fargo. He does a ton of business. He's got millions of loans from there. He does, buys old houses and apartment complex, fix them up, does all that shit. So he's been a lot of bank business. Goes to the head of the bank at the Wells Fargo. There's nothing we could do. We can't waive that fee. It comes from above. He's like, you got to be kidding me. So you're going to charge me $50 basically every month at the end of the month when I deposit cash in here because it's over $20,000. Is that the most retarded? I mean, that's the most retarded thing I've ever heard. They're just like the airlines, the banks, the scumbags, right? Hitting you with a fee everywhere. And none of the politicians do a thing about it. They just let it slide. They're all fucking in with the bankers. Hey, look this way. Hey, we'll give you a cash contribution to your fucking campaign. All right, look the other way. We're going to throw another $5 here. I remember trying to get a money order from my bank, and they were trying to charge me $5. I go, $5 for a money order? I go, that's all right. I'll just go to the post office. They're $1.79 there. Of course, the manager comes over. Sir, look, I'm looking at your accounts. If you open this other account and put your money in there in the savings, you can get a free money order. I go, why would I do that? I go, there's a fucking post office a half a mile down the road. I'll make the drive over there. No, it won't take long. You just switch your money over here and just open a new account. I go, why am I going to go sit in your office for 15 minutes to go through my social security number again to switch money to a new account so I can get a free money order? I only use a money order once every 20 years. Okay, I needed it for this specific thing. I'm not opening a new account. So it won't take that long. He's like, do you have 5 minutes? I go, nope. He goes, how much time do you have? I go, I got 4 seconds. Can you get it done in 4 seconds? He's like, we can't get that done in 4 seconds. I go, then forget it. And I went to the post office for $1.79 and got my money order because you're going to charge me $5 for a fucking money order. Charging me for checks. Like I said, been there for 14 years. 2 years ago when I opened a business account, we're going to have to charge you, whenever you reorder checks, it's going to be another $40. I go, for what? Well, because we're giving you new checks. I go, nah, it's not going to happen. I go, well, that's our policy. I go, then forget it. I won't open a business account. Because every time you go in a bank, it's not like the same person. Every week, there's 6 different new people working there. So you don't even know anyone. Nobody knows you by your name. There are all these the turnover rates like a McDonald's. So you don't know anyone. Nobody gives you a break. Nobody explains anything to you. You got all these new people you got to deal with now. So I was telling the woman when I'm opening my business account, I go, you know what? I'll just open a business account somewhere else. She's like, sir, that doesn't make sense because you already have a savings account here. Now you're going to have to go to 2 banks. I go, I'm not paying $40 for checks. Well, they're nice checks. They're in color. I go, I don't need a nice check. I don't give a fuck if my check is in color. All right, I'm sending a check out to pay for somebody that a bill. Nobody cares if it's, oh, look out. I don't even know if I'm going to cash this. This is in color. This is awesome. I want a plain check. Nobody's going to call me back, dude, what's up with that? You don't even have any designs on your check? It's weird, man. I got your money that you owed me. Thanks, but the check was just real plain. What's up with that? Nobody has ever said that. Nobody gives a shit. I don't care what my checks look like. I don't need designs on them. Same with the stamps. You go to post, so what kind of stamps you want? You want this one? I don't give a fuck. Just give me one that I can stick on an envelope. I don't need a fucking flag. I don't need a Santa Claus. I don't need any of that shit. You got to put a rubber thing over it anyway, these fucking bars. Nobody's going to even see what the hell it is. By the time they get their letter, like, what was this? I don't know. There's shit all over the stamp. Nobody cares. Old people do. I want to get the candy cane ones because it's Christmas. That's what old fucks do. So then the manager had to come for that, and I wound up getting the checks waived, the fee, because she's like, no, we can't do that. And then the guy came in. I go, all right, well, look. All right, well, fine. We'll do it for you. There you go. But they wouldn't waive that $300 on a check signed over. Took all the money out. Such scumbags. They just lurk around and look at your account. So, all right, look, stop telling me I could put your money in a better account. No, you can't, okay? You can't get more than 1% interest in a bank right now on a CD, a money market, or your savings account. It's nothing over 1%, okay? So if it's 0.75% to fucking, a 1% over, $5,000 in there is not going to be any money. There's no reason to switch that. When it gets up to 5%, when I can go from 1% to 5%, then I'll change it. Really should move this money over. Here's my card. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Sit behind your fucking douchey desk with your goofy tie on. How long you been banking here? Go fuck yourself. Who cares? I need to get out of here as soon as possible. I'm telling you, man, it's just like, just keep your money under your mattress. There's no reason to put it in a bank. You're getting 1% interest, even a CD. If you want to put a CD, like $5,000 or $10,000 in a CD, in a bank for 5 years even, you can get maybe like 1.1%, which is probably going to be like, $300 over 5 years. Is that really worth it? So you can't even touch that money in 5 years in case of an emergency. So or you get a penalty. So you're going to make $300. Just fucking keep it under your mattress. Just keep your cash in your house. That's all you got to do. There's no reason to fucking keep going in and out of banks. They're scumbags. Everything they're charging you for. My one bank's like, if you make 3 withdrawals in a month out of your savings account, that's what Wachovia came up with like 5 years ago. We charge you $1 every time you withdraw more money. You can have 3 for free. Oh, thanks. Really? So I can withdraw 3 different times in a month for free. Well, thanks. You're really doing me a favor. So all that money that I have sitting in there that you're making money off of, you're going to charge me if I need a 4th withdrawal in 1 month. Well, it's only $1, sir. Yeah, well, okay, then waive the $1 if it's only $1. Well, we can't do that. That's our policy. But you just said it's only $1. So if it's only $1, just waive it. To me, that makes sense. So that's just our policy now. Yeah, okay, of course. Of course it is. Of course it is that nobody knows about until you get fucked. Just like the airlines. That's all they are. Nobody does anything about it. Every politician looks the other way. Yeah, throw another fee here. Throw that. What do? We just get fucked and just got to sit there and take it. Yep. Oh, well. Just got to take it. What am I going to do? Hey. I don't, what am I supposed to do? I got to put it in a bank. No, you don't. You don't have to put it. Just use your fucking credit card. Use your credit card. That's the safest thing to do. With a debit card, too, I forgot. Debit card, you rent a car, forget it. That's a whole other thing because it doesn't cover. On a credit card, your insurance covers it on your credit card. On a rent-a-car, so you don't have to get their fucking goofy insurance for $19.95 a day. Well, everything's covered. Yeah, I've been driving fucking 30 years. I've only been in 2 accidents. I think I'll be okay. Well, I'm just saying, if someone backs into you when you're in a parking lot, well, nobody's... Sir, like I said, sir, two accidents in 30 years, so once every 15 years. And the last one I was in was like 8 years ago. So I think I got my average is another 7 years. I'll be okay. I don't want your fucking insurance for $20 a day. You don't have to worry about anything. I'm not worried about it. Even if I didn't have insurance on the car, I wouldn't be worried about it. I don't fucking worry about that shit. You're worried about it, not me. Fuck banks. Telling you, just scum of the earth. If you're gonna do it, go into the local. Let's start supporting the local mom and pop banks. Let's get rid of the Bank Americas, the Wells Fargo, all of those fucking I don't know the other ones out there. You guys know. Take your shit out of there. Go to a little local bank, man. Fuck them. Somebody has to do something. It's time. My wife's gonna come there and open an account so I could fucking cash a $300 check. Yeah, we're right on that. No problem. We got fucking plenty of time to go do that. Sure, she's gonna open an account here. Sit in an office for 25 minutes as you fucking type away, typing and type. What the fuck are you typing about? Here's her name, here's the address. Either give me the money or not. I gotta sit there with your fucking goofy outfit. Hey, it's a nice day today. Really? Yeah, the weather's been good. Go fuck yourself. Who cares? Yeah, I know. I just walked. I'm in a short sleeve shirt. I had a feeling the fucking weather was nice. I just walked in from it. Douche. All right, we're done. It was very painful, but therapeutic to get through it. Yeah. Oh well. What are you gonna do? Hey, you guys have been really suggesting some cool podcasts for me to do, different subjects and stuff. I'm gonna get to, if I got enough material on it, like I said, but through butterflyradio.com. If you go to butterflyradio.com and download the app, it's free. You can leave me a message and about a good podcast there. We're going to have some contests coming up with Butterfly in the next few weeks. Will be pretty cool. But you do have to have an iPhone for Butterfly. But if you do have the iPhone, go to it, leave a message, leave some comments about the podcast or a good podcast suggestion. And also, you guys have been sending me email through my email, Jim Florentine, the number 13 at gmail.com. I appreciate it, man. It's been that really good feedback. And it definitely, some of the shit really hits home when you go, you know what, you should do a podcast on this. And I'm like, that's fucking perfect. I didn't even think about that. So check out butterflyradio.com. It's really cool. And I said we got some new shit coming up, some contests and stuff. We can win some stuff coming up in a couple weeks. Also, Amazon. I know, I feel like it's shipping. Check them out if you need some new earbuds. They're really cool. I'm using them right now as I do the podcast. 7 styles, 7 different colors. Check out their website, tweakedaudio.com. Put in the promo code midget, you get 33%. Midgets. And you get 33% off. What a fucking deal. All right. This week's podcast is going to be a very angry one. Most of them are anyway, but this one, especially, I have so much rage for this. I didn't even think about doing this until I had an encounter about 6 days ago, and I said, that's the next podcast. And I don't know why, because I do hate the place, and I'm surprised I didn't think of it earlier, but we're going to do it on banks. What scumbags banks are. Okay? I've been with this one branch, Wells Fargo. I don't give a shit, say who it is. I've been with them for 14 years. They used to be First Union. Then they switched over to Wachovia, which is a fucking stupid name. And then they merged with Wells Fargo. So they've been Wells Fargo for the last 4 or 5 years. I've been with them since 1999 or 98. Loyal customer, put a bunch of money in there. I used to get CDs back in the day when the interest rate was like 5%. I throw a few grand, 5, 10 grand in there, collect some interest on it after a year, whatever. Safe investments. Because the fucking rate was great. So I'm like, what the hell? Didn't trust the stock market back then. So I've gotten loans from them, 2 different loans. They've made, and I've kept a lot of money in just a savings account just sitting there because I was afraid of the stock market until I figured out what the hell it really was. And I just heard all these nightmares of these comedians getting like a $250,000 advance from like NBC to do a show, and they invested all in the stock market and they lost everything. So I was always petrified to do that. So I said, fuck it. I'm leaving it in my bank. I'll collect, 3%, 2.5%, 3% interest in my savings account. At least I'm not going to lose it. I had no money for a long time. So when I finally got a little, I'm like, fuck that. There's no way I'm losing. I remember when I was like 35, I was paying these bills off in change. And I was like, shit, something's got to fucking give here. A broken record going through the same shit every week. But, you get new people downloading the podcast, so you got to update it. If you're going to shop through Amazon, go to my website, jimflorentine.com, click on the Amazon link there and shop from there, and I make a few pennies, help support the podcast. Or you could donate, too. jimflorentine.com, there's a donation button there. I got some good feedback I did Allison Rosen's podcast. She's Adam Carolla's sidekick on Adam's podcast, and she has her own one. I did that one last week. I posted. I also did Crab Feast, which is really cool. I did that. And I got a lot of good feedback on that. So if you guys want to search out those, and I got an upcoming one with Jay Moore coming that he didn't post yet. I did like 2 weeks ago when I was out in L.A. So I'll keep you posted on that shit. You know how it is. And one last thing before we get to this week's podcast. Tweakedaudio.com. You need some new earbuds. Everybody that's got them so far said they like them, man. They're cheap. You can get them from $14.95 to $39.95. That's the most expensive ones. You get a third off if you use the promo code midgets for Comedy Metal Midgets. And lifetime limited warranty and free It's Jim Florentine here, Comedy Metal Midgets podcast on riotcast.com. Riotcast.com's got a good website if you guys want to check out some other podcasts on the Rich Voss and his wife Bonnie McFarlane, Robert Kelly, the Comedy Cellar does one on there, the Jersey Jerks. There's a bunch of cool ones on there. Bailey J. I can't remember the other ones, but some good shit out there, man. Thanks for listening. Once again, I got some really good feedback on The Good Friend, one that was last week. It did really well. A ton of downloads. Probably like my second biggest one since the Van Halen one I had the audio for when they did that little private show in New York. I think it was that and I think this one was bigger even than Rock of Ages, but for some reason it caught on. A lot of people can relate to it being a good friend. They're getting tortured. I did it with my buddy Chad Zumach and Joe Howard. And if you didn't hear it, go back and check it out because a lot of guys can relate to it and a lot of women can relate to it too, going, yeah, I was that person. I was that girl that did that to those guys. So